Welcome to Passion for the Pastime, where baseball lives 24/7, 365. Catch conversations with beat writers, broadcasters, current and former players of all levels. Now here's your host,
Walter Ika Balsetta. Whoops, I fumbled. I got to get out of here.
Walter Ika Balsetta.
Yo, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Passion for the Pastime here on the YouTube. My name is Walter Ika and welcome in to the show. We got a lot of breaking news here as it comes to the Bay Area landscape. We're going to be talking a lot of baseball here tonight, but I will be joined here in a couple of minutes with Greg Silver. You guys know him from Papa and Silver 10-2 on KMBR, and also his work with JD on the Dubs OT. So we're going to be talking some basketball because huge news with Jimmy Butler coming to the Warriors. And yeah, I'm reading some of the comments that you guys were talking about before I got in here. Over under on Draymond and Jimmy getting into a fight. I think it's way over. I think the answer is yes, that's going to happen. And yeah, AJ, dude, I don't know how to feel about this trade either with Jimmy Butler. I mean, we'll get into that with Greg Silver when he joins us here in a little bit. But what's up, everybody? Welcome into Passion for the Pastime. We're going to be talking some baseball here. Happy Barry Bonds Day. Happy 25 Day, if you will. 2/5/25. And I don't know where the hell all this stuff went. I just loaded in a couple of videos, so I'm going to have to do it again. But I might be showing you guys some of that. Look at that. I just showed you some of the videos that we're going to be playing a little bit later. So let me just go ahead and pop these in while I can still control some of this at the current moment. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome to Passion for the Pastime. We're gonna be talking some Barry Bonds. I know a lot of Giants fans. I mean, that we grew up, that is our best player that we've ever seen, that we ever witnessed, right? So we'll talk about Barry and what the number 25 means to us. We got a couple of these great moments here, so I'm just loading them in right now, just rambling off the top of my head until I'm done with this. Just a couple of big moments, or not big moments, but memorable moments for Barry Bonds, because that's what he brought to the diamond every single time that he stepped out there. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit, talking some Giants baseball as well with Greg Silver, but for sure we will be getting into the Jimmy Butler news. So what was it? It was Andrew Wiggins, right? Andrew Wiggins, Dennis Schroeder, and Lindy Waters was part of the trade as well, right? I'm trying to remember who else was involved in this trade. Kyle Anderson was also involved in the trade, but they would be getting sent elsewhere. They're not going to the Heat, I believe. Kyle Anderson's heading to Toronto. Schroeder's going to Utah. Dude, what a crazy time. How are you guys feeling about this deal that just went down with the Golden State Warriors, Jimmy Butler? Because we were talking about it I think it was last night when AJ called. Maybe it was the night before. But AJ called and we kind of got onto the subject of the Warriors, right? And we started talking a little bit of dubs with AJ when he called last time. I don't remember if it was last night or what day is it today? Today's Wednesday, so I believe that was Monday, because Monday I think I did the 2-hour show because I missed you guys so much. So we started talking about the Warriors and what they would end up doing coming into the trade deadline, and a lot of the headlines was Kevin Durant, right? I mean, we all expected that was going to be a thing, and it's earlier this morning. I mean, we had on Mark Spears 10:30, and he pretty much deflated the bubble of what our show was going to be. We were going to be talking heavy Kevin Durant this morning on Papa and Silver. And at 10:30, Mark Spears come on right before he goes on to NBA Today, and right before the Shams bomb, I guess is what everybody's calling it. I don't know what we call it anymore. It still doesn't feel right with Woj not invading all of our phones with the breaking news. But Shams breaks that, says that KD isn't down for a reunion. So then we're just like, oh crap, like. Because again, everybody was looking at KD in a reunion with the Warriors. I think that was best case scenario, right? I mean, even we started talking about if we were willing to give up Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, not all in a package, right? But to match up the money, like you would include Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green. We started throwing out Jonathan Kuminga, all these other guys that would get the job done, and it's just started sounding a little better, right, for the Warriors, just to have a player of the caliber of excuse me, of Kevin Durant, and it just didn't happen. That wasn't going to be a thing. I guess it never was a thing. So rocking a sham wow, dude, for sure. But yeah, Tacky, I got you, man. We're going to save you from the basketball talk. I am going to be talking with Greg Silver. We're going to be talking some baseball, but we're going to mix in Jimmy Butler at the beginning of that conversation, and we're going to be talking more Giants towards the back end of the show, but we'll for sure get you a little palate cleanse here on Passion for the Pastime, because it is, again, Barry Bonds Day, 2/5/25. I'm just looking forward to, next year when it's 2/6/26. Shout out my guy Matt Chapman, you know what I mean? And then the year after that, 2/7/27, my guy Juan Marichal. Let's just keep it going. And then go, of course, 2/8/28. We're gonna get Buster Posey Day in San Francisco, and then we get to 2/9/29. What are we gonna do? We're gonna do Hector Sanchez. We're gonna do Jeff Samardzija. What are we gonna do with 29? Jason Schmidt, right? Jason Schmidt was 29, wasn't he? Am I tripping? Was Jason Schmidt a different number? I think Jason Schmidt might have been no, I think he was 29. He wasn't a 59 or I think he was a 29. Let me know if I'm right on that, chat. Let me know how I'm doing with my recollection of baseball players' numbers. Yeah, Jason Schmidt. Yeah, of course, rocking new era. Thank you for chiming in and confirming that for me. Yeah, we just keep going down the line, man. Just keep going. All the days in February is just going to be days for Giants players, because I believe it started last year with Willie Mays. Excuse me, my God, last year with Willie Mays, 2/4/24. It was Willie Mays Day. I don't think Will Clark got a day. I don't think he did. I don't think we started it at 2/2/22. I don't think he got a day. Maybe he did get a day. I don't know. Maybe I just completely forgot about that moment in Giants history. I'll have to ask Murph about it tomorrow. But yeah, man, we're gonna be talking about a little bit of everything here tonight. Not so much football, because we'll talk about maybe we'll talk about the Super Bowl a little bit, because this might be my last show of the week. Just because we got other stuff going on in life. So this might be the last show of the week. So I'll definitely mix in some football talk towards the end with my guy Greg Silver when he pops in here. But we're going to be talking about Jimmy Butler. How do you guys feel about this? I mean, I don't know really how I feel about the deal that went down, and I just got to give a shout out to some of the guys that I see here in the chat right now. AJ Cruz, I saw you in there earlier. What's up, AJ? Lori, good to see you in here. Otis, what's up, man? My favorite guy in here. What's up, Otis? Good to see you in here. Johnny Owen, welcome to Passion for the Pastime family. I think this is your first time in the YouTube chat, so welcome on in. If it's your first time, subscribe, like the podcast, and remember to set your notifications. And also, if you are subscribed to the channel, I mentioned at the beginning of the show last night and at the end of the show last night, I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed in my Pastimers, because I didn't get a lot of submissions. I got a couple from some of you guys. So if you did put in your submissions, I did see it last night with Rockin' and Pat H and a couple of others. You guys go ahead and submit your entry to win Giants tickets. I already told you guys, I'm going to give away a pair because we have over 100 subscribers on the podcast now. So I want to give back to you guys, but you have to do your part. You guys have to go to send an email, passionforthepastime@gmail.com. Send me a screenshot of your subscription to the podcast, and you will be entered for a chance to win that pair of tickets that we will be giving away February 20th. So you guys don't want to miss out on that. Make sure to get in on that as soon as possible. Tacky, I'm talking to you. Otis, I'm talking to you. Lori, I'm talking to you. AJ, I'm talking to you. All you guys go in there and send the email with the screenshot to passionforthepastime@gmail.com, and I will confirm. Let me know if you got that confirmation, Rockin' and Pat H. I think Pat H is in here as well. If he's not, well, he's missing out on a fantastic show, or he's about to miss out on a fantastic show. So send up the bat signal for my guy Pat H. But yeah, I want to say that I sent a confirmation reaction. It wasn't an email, but I sent the little party favors to you guys. So if you did get that and you did receive it, I did see it. But if you need a confirmation email, I'll do that on the other side as well. So we'll definitely get that going. But what's up, everybody? Welcome on in to Passion for the Pastime. Let's get back out to the YouTube chat. I saw you there, Tacky, saying that you you need to be saved from the basketball talk. I totally hear you, man, because we've been talking about basketball pretty much all day on the Sports Leader. And I mean, we pretty much exhausted the KD stuff until the moment that Shams said that he is not interested in a reunion with the Warriors. Then we started pivoting and like, what other avenues could the Warriors have to go ahead and get, what other avenues can the Warriors have to go ahead and get that like additional playmaker? I mean, it just started looking slimmer and slimmer. I mean, we were talking about Brandon Ingram, Jimmy Butler. I don't know how I feel about it because like AJ said earlier, what's the over under on an altercation with Jimmy and Dre? And I just said yes, like that's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Like I feel like it's a ticking time bomb. Just I don't know how they could coexist, but we'll definitely have to see how this works. And does this make the Warriors a better team going forward than what they were? I feel like they take a hit defensively. But offensively, yeah, they're going to be able to go toe to toe with some of these younger teams. But again, this is an older, aging roster to where I don't know if you want to get into a track meet with other entities in the NBA, especially in the Western Conference, where everybody is just so stacked and so young. Running up and down the court for a 7-game series. It's gonna be tough for the Warriors, but I mean, you still have the championship pedigree. You have Jimmy Buckets, you have Steph Curry, you have Draymond Green. You would hope that inspired Jimmy Butler would be better than what he has been, and that has been that he's been a locker room cancer, right? That's kind of been his MO, what he's been doing everywhere that he's gone. But you just figure he was the guy there, right? I mean, did he ever go anywhere? Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm going to welcome in Greg Silver here in just a little bit. But correct me if I'm wrong, has Jimmy Butler been anywhere else that he wasn't the top dog? Because that is the case here in Golden State. Does he kind of fall in line? Does he follow his leader of Steph Curry? Does he follow the leadership skills and the pedigree, the defensive pedigree, the hard assness of Draymond Green? I mean, that is a different dynamic that I think Jimmy Butler hasn't had in his career. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we will definitely get into that really quickly. But let's go out to the YouTube chat, and I will welcome in Greg Silver. I see him in the green room right now, but got to answer your questions before we get into this Dubs talk and start talking some baseball as well with my guy Greg Silver. What's the email again? I got it bounced back. It is Passion for the Pastime. I'll go ahead and put it in the comments here. Passion for the Pastime @gmail.com. I just typed it out. I just sent it in there. Rockin' New Era did get me his submission. It was all good. And if you need it from Rockin' New Era, just ask him, and he has the correct email. But that's what it is. I just put it in there in the YouTube chat. So go ahead and check that out to be entered for a chance to win 2 Giants tickets to the regular season game at some point in the season. I haven't narrowed down the game yet, but we got to do that for the 100 subscribers. But I got to get you guys entered before the 20th. That's when we're going to be doing the giveaway. Rockin' New Era. Walter ain't making it to anyone's Super Bowl party. No, I will not. And I probably won't be watching it. I actually got a lot of shit earlier this morning, Marcus and Young Tony were ripping into me because I'm not doing Super Bowl squares this year. And they were pissed. So I got to find out if my guy here in the green room, if he's upset that I'm not doing Super Bowl squares. I don't know if he was part of it last year, but he's definitely not going to be part of it this year because I'm not doing them. Welcome in Greg Silver of Papa and Silver, of Dubs OT, of KMBR. What's up, my guy? How you doing today?
Dude, what's happening? Haven't seen you in what feels like days at this point because of the breaking news that just happened an hour ago. But
yeah, dude.
I'm doing well. It's good to be home. Got a little space heater going. I try to keep it pretty dry during the week, so we're going with what was cold. That's a nice athletic. Don't worry, not dry February anymore. We're just taking a one night of chill right now because, man, I need it after what's been happening. Whew.
Yeah, dude. No, it's definitely. I don't have the beer open. I have a Cool Kids IPA that Marcus gave me for Christmas. I still haven't opened it, and he would probably be pissed that I still have this and I haven't drank it yet. So I'll have to pop that open a little bit later. I do have my Coke Patch for the Pastime, sponsored by Coca-Cola. I have my Coke open up here, but dude, we have to get into this. We have to get into this Jimmy Butler stuff, man. I mean, tonight, we were talking about you joining the podcast, and we knew it was going to be some Warrior talk, some trade deadline stuff, but then here we are, Jimmy Buckets to the Bay. What was your initial reaction when you saw that happen? You saw mine in the KMBR producers chat. So I'm just curious, what was your reaction when you saw the as Rocket New Era is calling it, the sham wow? That's what he's calling it.
Shazam, per Greg Papa. But yeah, dude, what my initial reaction is, I'm still working through the initial reaction, right? Like I got a long 16 hours to go before we're on the air breaking this down again. And I'm sure I'm going to have additional thoughts and opinions. If I could try to keep it in a very distilled, simple way, it definitely is a move that has some notes of desperation. Not denying that whatsoever. It makes them worse defensively. Sad to see Andrew Wiggins go because I was always one to stick up for him more than a lot of people, especially when he had all those absences and was dealing with the family matters. That said, the Warriors did have to make a move, absolutely. When we were sitting here, and you always have to think about what the alternative is. And if the alternative in this case was not making a move to this point, which is what we were dealing with for the last half of our show today, I'm looking at the other teams 7-12 in the West. And I'm like, man, the Warriors aren't even going to be a play-in team at this rate. And they just can't score the ball. And Steph is going to be 37 in 6 weeks. And he looks old and tired, as great as he is out there right now. So they had to do something. I will also say this. I don't know if they're done making moves, but with the roster as currently existing before this noon trade deadline tomorrow, beggars can't be choosers. So for all the people that were concerned about them being reckless and mortgaging the future, I think it was desperate. I don't think it was reckless. You still have Jonathan Kuminga. You still have Brandon Pajemski. You still have Trace Jackson Davis, and you still have Moses Moody. So if this is your roster for the rest of the season and moving forward, then whatever the Warriors were going to be in the post-Steph and Draymond and Steve era, well, guess what? You still got that crew. So if they stink in 2028, then that was going to be the reality no matter what. Now, who knows what's going to happen between now and then? But they absolutely had to try to do something. And Jimmy Butler, he is high maintenance. I understand a lot of the reasons for why people are frustrated. I understand the concerns about the locker room meshing with Draymond. If they're losing games, how bad this could get quickly. All that being said, he is a certified winner. He is an absolute dog. And if everybody's healthy, you could still have a pretty tough lineup up there of Steph, Draymond, Jimmy Butler, maybe Kevon Looney, maybe Jonathan Kuminga. And when I hear about those names, I'm thinking if they can find a way to get into a playoff series as a 6, a 7, or an 8, that's a lineup that's good enough to make another team work for it. OKC, Houston, and Memphis, the top of the West right now, those are all teams that are still pretty young and haven't gotten over the hump yet. Now, if you face Denver in the first round, let's call it quits, right? Like it's not happening. But the goal is to always put yourself in a competitive position. Logan Murdoch wrote a really good piece on this. I'll probably reference it tomorrow. And so I don't know if I necessarily love the move. We're going to get into it more tomorrow with Greg Papa. He kind of had me convinced on it's not worth going to get Jimmy Butler if you're parting with Andrew Wiggins. But all in all, they absolutely had to do something. This is a swing that they ultimately took. I have no idea what I'm going to be saying about it in 2 months. We got you.
All right.
There?
I got you. I got you. I was losing you a little bit, but no, I think we're good. I think it's my connection, not yours. But yeah, no, we're good, man. So it's really interesting, just looking at this move because, yeah, did it look like it was a desperation move? Of course, but I think that it was a calculated move. It wasn't just being reckless. You know what I mean? Like desperation, yes, but it wasn't being reckless. It was a calculated move in getting Jimmy Butler, and I think it does make you feel a little bit better as a Warrior fan. Moving forward because he signed the extension, right? You still have him for 2 more years. I think the number was at like 121 million or something like that. So it does look a little bit better coming into it than I guess what we preconceived what would happen with Jimmy Butler, because it sounded like he didn't want to sign an extension with the Golden State Warriors, and whatever the hell that was. I mean, he ended up signing a whatever. I mean, if it's
I don't know anything anymore, man.
If it's a negotiation tactic, dude, I still don't understand it. I really don't understand it. But anyways, something that you mentioned there at the beginning of your initial reactions with Jimmy Butler is you think that they're not done, right? And I go back to what ended up happening last night with Dalton Johnson on Twitter, where he was mentioning that, hey, it was a flight photo. There's 12 guys listed. The 4 guys that weren't was Wiggins, Buddy Hield, Kevon Looney, and Lindy Waters the third, right? So 2 of those guys, 2 of those 4 are no longer on the Warriors. So you going into the thought process of the Warriors aren't done, are we looking at a Buddy Hield, Kevon Looney type package to continue the Warriors trend of trying to improve this team at the trade deadline?
Buddy Hield, I believe, will be a Warrior come noon tomorrow, and I think that's for 2 reasons. One, I mean, what's his value right now, right? Like, he started so hot and he has really dropped off since then. And I think his value to Steve Kerr, Steph Curry, and the Golden State Warriors is still going to be greater than that of another team at this point. Because if you just have another threat to space the floor when you got Steph out there, you kind of need it. So I kind of actually can sympathize a little bit with the long leash that's been given to Buddy Hield, even though I'm one of the first people to talk about how awful his performance is at times. And if he's not shooting the ball, what good is he out there on the court? Looney and GP2 are the 2 I got my eyes on. We talked about this with John Dickinson today on the show, and he mentioned the expiring contract factor in the NBA and how much those are valued by GMs around the league. Looney and GP2 are 2 expiring contracts still on this Warriors roster. So my initial thought to all of this is, well, they might not be done. Now, who knows? Is Vucevic going to be a Chicago Bull? Would they get rid of Looney to get a Vucevic? They still have all those young pieces I mentioned. It seems like they're very protective over the youth movement here in the Bay Area. But yeah, those are 2 names I'm definitely looking at as a possibility for reshuffling the deck here, because look, this is the craziest trade deadline I think I can ever remember, certainly, and we got a long way to go.
It's definitely more active than years past, right? Because I mean, just remind me. I always felt like the NBA trade deadline was just, I mean, it was just a date. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't really anything that really went down. But I guess Luka getting traded, obviously, that just perks up the ears of everyone else going into the trade deadline, and maybe like some GMs start to get some ideas. They're like, oh well, damn, if they're willing to trade Luka, maybe we can go get Butler, or maybe we can go get Giannis, or you know what I mean? Then the sky's the limit. It always depends on the organization and who you're talking to, right? And what your assets are. But yeah, do you think that there's going to be another big, significant move? Not necessarily for the Warriors, but do you think that there's someone else that's going to be on the move, just general NBA wise? Because this is, I mean, as you said, this is one of the most active NBA trade deadlines, to where I don't really know how to navigate it too well, because I mean, NFL is kind of a little it's hit or miss. Baseball is usually it's a little bit more active among the three big sports, three main sports. But do you see there being more moves like of significance, of like the superstar caliber of a Jimmy Butler, of a Luka Doncic?
Not in that caliber of a player. I'm watching some of the Warriors Jazz right now in front of me. Walker Kessler's a guy that we talked about today. There's a chance someone like him could be on the move. Brandon Ingram is another name that could be moved. I mean, who knows what New Orleans is going to do? I guess Zion Williamson would probably be the biggest name left of a possibility. But I don't really know what's going on in New Orleans with David Griffin and that front office. So I'm guessing it's going to be moves that are more, medium players, like the Nikola Vucevic-esque types, like maybe all-stars in the past who are a little bit older or no longer at that level. But yeah, as far as the Warriors, I mean, I think Vucevic is still worth watching. I don't know about Brandon Ingram, and I'm guessing no, now that you got Jimmy Butler and you still got Jonathan Kuminga. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. But then again, with Luka Doncic being traded, it got to a point where it's like, oh, well, is Kevin Durant going back to the Bay? And then we learn later today that Mark Spears, he tells us that KD learns about this, and he's like, what, dude, I don't want to go back there. Like, where is this coming from? And it took 2 days to even reach that point for the news to come out. So, I don't think we're getting anything crazy, but it's certainly been very active, and we'll see if anybody else gets moved. And I think the more significant result, Walter, would be if it's a player like a Walker Kessler or a John Collins getting moved to a team that really has a chance to make a deep run, like a Denver, an OKC, a Boston, a Cleveland.
Yeah, I was talking before you joined us, and I was pretty much going behind the glass, right? That was a podcast idea that we had once upon a time, but I was going behind the glass in that we had a show planned to talk about this KD thing. We had the Walters whip around. We were going to talk KD and what kind of package that you would want to what you would want to present for the Suns, and who's on the table, who's absolutely not available in that trade. We had that we erected the poll today, and it was all KD centric, and it's just like, man, at 10:30 Mark Spears comes in and just deflates the balloon of the KD train to Golden State, so we had to pivot. And then a little bit after that, we had the Shams news, right? So that dissipated quickly. But now how things have changed, right? With Jimmy Butler coming in, you do have that second scorer that they have been trying to find since we saw the decline of. I would even say maybe they've been trying to look for that second scorer. I mean, Jordan Poole filled that role nicely in the championship year. Klay Thompson was never really to regain that, but he commanded so much presence on the court just because of who he was. But I would say, like, they've been looking for a number two scorer, like, consistently since KD left, right, for those championship years. So now you get a number two. I would say that Jimmy Butler is a number two, is an upgrade to what they've had in years past. But it's going to be really interesting. And what you brought up there towards the back end with Vucevic, right? We were talking about it earlier today in that does Vucevic do, like, move the needle, right? I would say that Jimmy Butler does that. I would say that Jimmy Butler does move the needle, whether it's, oh God, he's terrible, or this is a great player. Like, it depends on how you see Jimmy Butler and the cancer aspect of what he brings to a locker room. But you know that he can ball. You know that he can go out there and score. But saying that the Warriors might not be done, I mean, what kind of package can the Warriors put together to get a Vucevic? Because if you get a Jimmy Butler and a Vucevic, then I think that the meter for excitement for the Warriors goes up a tad, not just one or the other. If they were to get both, that would be ideal. But is that something that is still realistic with now the I guess the trade assets that they have following the trade of Jimmy Butler?
So, admittedly, I don't know too much about what Chicago's looking for package wise. They just signed Lonzo Ball to an extension. That news came out right as I was in the green room here for this show. And Vucevic might be on the move. Zach LaVine, they did not get a crazy return package for him. So, it seemed like they wanted a first round pick unprotected, whereas the Warriors were maybe more looking toward a 2. They did include a first round pick in this package in the Jimmy Butler deal. So I don't know if they're more reluctant to do so again. Maybe the Bulls would cave in the end and they're just in full on fire sale tank mode, which apparently some teams do. Dallas not getting like 10 first round picks for Luka.
Dude, that was just the craziest thing, man. I still thought that it was fake like hours later. I was like, oh yeah, somebody got hacked. Like that's not a thing.
Yeah, no, and again, like I know Papa's been all over, like Dallas just got better and AD is really good, and like he is, but to trade a guy like that in his prime and
25 years old, like, come on, bro, no, you don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get a return package for sure that's big. By the way, just a quick aside, so I got this Warriors Jazz game in front of me. The Warriors are absolutely playing like a team that just had their locker room broken up. They are down 26-14. It was 18-4. Draymond Green got a technical foul, and Brandon Pajemski, who shot a couple of free throws with nobody on the blocks, made them and then went to do the high fives to nobody twice in a row. I'm like, this is a team that is messed up. So
it's already happening. The cancer's already happening. It's not even there. The cancer's already happening. So we're right before our eyes. Oh my God. That is terrible. That tells me all I need to know. This is the worst trade that the Warriors have ever done.
I don't know about that, but like I said, we'll see how I'm talking about this in 2 months. I was excited about Dennis Schroeder, and then I came on KMBR and said it absolutely hasn't worked, and they got to look to flip his salary. They did.
So put me on game a little bit with Jimmy Butler, because I haven't watched him too much, and we know that Dennis Schroeder, I mean, coming over, he was a ball dominant guard, and he needed the ball in his hands, and that was the big adjustment, right? Draymond Green came out after the deal, and he was like, yeah, I mean, Schroeder's he's different than what we run here, but we have to adjust to him. That never happened. But looking at Jimmy Butler, I kind of have the sense that he's a ball dominant person as well. I mean, is that accurate that he needs the ball in his hands, or he commands the offense to a degree, like even more so than Schroeder did?
You know, to be completely fair, once I started with Dubs OT, my scope of the entire NBA actually probably
narrowed
shrunk
down
a little bit because I was so focused on the Western Conference and the teams right in front of the Warriors. So in the Heat were a middling Eastern Conference team. Butler had his injuries and everything after that finals run, but I did get to watch him take a team to the finals. And I think part of why he was so ball dominant, Walter, was because he was the guy. He was the number one on that team. So I'm sure he can adjust. And I don't know necessarily how a Jimmy Butler type would fit into playing with Steph, but here's the good news. And I'm going to say this is my very just kind of broad and amateur take on this. Jimmy Butler, if they need him to be a second scorer, they can find ways to set him up in spots that are Jimmy Butler friendly. So whether that's making him a little ball dominant and playing some of the non-Steph minutes, or getting Steph double teamed, or having defenses just push all their gravity his way, give Jimmy Butler a little bit of space to do maybe some ISO ball, maybe that's a good way for it to happen. But this is really something that I want to really watch and kind of break down the tape when I see Jimmy Butler in a Golden State Warriors jersey and in an offensive half-court set a couple of times to kind of get a good read on how it's really going to work here in this half-court offense. I think that the style of the Miami Heat was just very different from what the Warriors have done, because the Warriors sort of broke the NBA when they started this whole dynasty and winning championships, and they haven't really ever gone away from that system entirely since, because the system is predicated around one player who's still there.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a lot of combinations that are going to be thrown out there that they're going to try to figure out how to make it work, right? I mean, Steve Kerr, one of the best out there in the NBA as far as coaches wise. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they figure out the combinations and how they mix in and how they make Jimmy Butler kind of adjust to the Warrior style of basketball, but then also adjust to Jimmy Butler and having, him thrive in moments that Jimmy Butler can do, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see all of that. So we were talking about Jimmy Butler, and if there are more moves to come, we'll have to see. I mean, the trade deadline, definitely tune in to Papa and Silver tomorrow. We have no association with it, but no, I'm just kidding. Tune into Papa. Yeah, tune into Papa and Silver tomorrow.
That's
10
my
to 2.
show.
Yeah, 10 to 2, baby. And the trade deadline is smack right in the middle. That's what you love about middays, is that we always get the breaking news. We always get the deadline smack in the middle of our shows. So we get all of the going into it and then the reaction of all the deals that are going to happen. So maybe the Warriors aren't done. But assuming that they are, assuming that this is the only move that they end up doing, right now, the Warriors are currently at the 11 seed, right? They're 11, 10, 11. Where are they currently?
They're actually 10, and the explanation for why they moved up is really stupid. It's that Dallas lost last night, and they are 26 and 25, whereas the Warriors are 25 and 24. Therefore, their winning percentage is just a tick higher. Dallas has played more games is the short answer, and it's stupid.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so the Warriors are 10. So does this move them out of play-in territory? Like, do they get to a 6? Like, is that too much to ask right now with the Jimmy Butler?
No, it's not. And I'm not predicting that it will get them to 6, but look how tight that bottom half of the bottom half of the Western Conference play-in contention, I should say. That 5 to 11, that is so tight that all they need is a nice little run or a hot streak, and all of a sudden they're cooking. I mean, the Lakers, it seemed like they were kind of struggling and middling, and then they were winning more games than not over a little stretch, and all of a sudden they climbed up to 5, and it was like, oh, Lakers, just by being, I don't know what it was, like 28 and 19 or whatever they are right now, all of a sudden got up to 5. So I don't think it's ridiculous at all to think that the Golden State Warriors could get there. Now, I think I've told you this, I was not a believer with the roster that they currently had this morning that, oh, well, they're just going to rip off 8 of 11 or 9 of 12. It's like, sure, when's the last time they've won 3 games in a row since the 12-3 start? Like, I do not know if it's happened. So I guess in that sense, if it works and the Butler thing clicks and they're defending well and everybody's healthy and there's a bromance with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, like, it's not going to take a whole lot on paper for them to make a little jump in the standings. That said, it's going to, they're going to have to work for it, and they can't just be the same version of the team that they currently are with a different roster and expect anything to change in a major way.
It's funny. You know what I look forward to tomorrow? You see the comment there with Pat H. I invented the trade deadline, John. Yeah, I look forward to hearing Papa say, I knew that they were going to trade for Jimmy Butler all along. I knew it yesterday. Like just him coming in just strong. He's going to say it. He's going to say it at least once, right? He's going to say it at least once.
Well,
it's okay. This is safe space, Silver. It's a safe space.
If and when it happens,
He's not
you
watching.
Isolate that soundbite and we play it 7 times on the show.
Dude, if he says that in his opening monologue, I knew they were going to trade for Jimmy all along. I knew it the second we stopped talking to Mark Spears. I knew it all along. I was first. I knew it first. I knew it before Shams.
Yeah, I'm the one who broke it to Shams.
Oh, dude, yeah. I was sources, Greg. I was sources. It was me. Okay, let's pivot off of that. I love making me a Greg Papa voice. Basketball talk gets me as hard as Betty White nudes. That just tells me that Tacky likes old women, for sure. But let's see what else is Tacky.
I was gonna say that sounds very hard.
Oh yeah, dude. Tacky loves the Cougars for sure. Papa ramble when they announced Dennis Richmond. Oh yeah, no, that was a very interesting time of the show. Thank you for bringing that up, Tacky. Jesus, we're not gonna do that. But R.I.P. to Dennis Richmond. He grew up in all of our households. But let's go ahead and continue the conversation on the Warriors, right? I mean, actually no, I kind of want to pivot a little bit here.
I was gonna say we're good. Like
I think we've exhausted the Warriors.
I love my hoops, but like this week has just been like,
I think we've exhausted the Warriors for the last 3 days, and I think we're good. I think we can do a little palate cleanse, but I'm going to use it in the sense of it's a little bit of basketball centric because we saw today with the celebrity game the coaches, right? That's a good segue, right? You like that? You like how I did that? You like that?
Oh,
that was
fantastic.
perfect. That was perfect. That's how a pro does it. Not saying that you're not a pro, Greg. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that's how us pros do it. Yeah, taking a shot to the heart. No, but the head coaches were announced for the celebrity game. You got Jerry Rice against Barry Bonds, and happy Barry Bonds Day to you. It is 2/5/25, baby. So we're gonna be talking about the GOAT, Barry Bonds, but really quickly. Jerry would win in a one-on-one, right? I mean, Jerry would dominate in basketball. I don't know how I mean, I know Barry Bonds is. I know he's competitive, but I think Jerry can go to the hole a little stronger than Barry.
I'm picking Jerry, and maybe this isn't fair to Barry because I've never had an interaction with him, but I have had one interaction with Jerry Rice. That was back on December 30th before the 49ers Lions game. We were out at Levi's Stadium.
Yeah.
And so there was a group of us on the field in pregame, including our guy, Greg Papa, and our other guy, Mike Silver, among them. And Jerry Rice was out there wearing like this whole goat fuel golden chain and everything. And so we're having a very brief conversation with Jerry Rice, and I'm getting introduced. Very nice. Very energetic. I could tell he was competitive even in like an introductory situation. And my father was like, yeah, I used to cover this guy way back in the day. And Jerry immediately just kind of goes, nobody covered me or kind of thing. And my dad's like, dude, like journalistically, not, he's like, yeah,
I wrote stories, bro. I wrote stories. Yeah. That's hilarious, man. No, dude. Okay, so you just sparked my memory when you're talking about stories with Jerry Rice, but also with the great Mike Silver. I don't know if I ever told you this. I think actually I texted you when this happened. So I was walking to the field. I don't remember what time of year it was. I don't remember what game it was. It might have been when I was doing the parabolics for the 49ers and Cowboys game. But I see Mike, I see your dad walking towards me, but me and him had never like met in person. We've only spoken over the phone. So I'm walking towards him and I'm like, I think that's Mike Silver. And then he kind of looks at me, and I don't know if he was like, I think that's Walter, but I think he like looked at me because I was looking at him, and I was like, fuck, I think that's Mike, but I'm not 100% sure. So we kind of had like this stare down as we were walking like crossing each other, and then it was just awkward. And then I just left, and then I think I texted you, or I texted Mike after, or I talked to him on the phone after, and I was like, hey dude, I think I saw you in the tunnel before getting out to the field this past Sunday. And he was like, yeah, I thought that was you, like like how Mike talks. So dude, that was funny. But then a Jerry Rice story. I've seen Jerry, right? I've seen Jerry, and I try to be like kind of cool, because when you have the media credentials, you don't want to like fanboy out, you know what I mean? You go crazy, and then you get your credentials like revoked. So I'm there, and it's Christmas Day, and I'm with my dad, and I got him field passes, right? And I thought that was super cool. And again, like I'm with my dad, and I'm like, oh yeah, look, I'll come introduce you to Jerry. Like I know him, like he's my friend. I'll be like, yeah, come on, let's go say hi to Jerry. So I'm like trying to be cool and shit, but I'm like, oh dude, that's fucking Jerry Rice. Like that's pretty sick. So then I had my dad there, and I don't know if I told you the story, Silver, but my dad goes and meets Jerry Rice, grabs his face, and kisses him on the cheek. And I was mortified. I was like, oh my God, Jerry Rice is going to get me fucking fired. I was like, this
Dude,
is
I did not know this.
Dude, he grabbed Jerry Rice's face and gave him a kiss on the cheek. On the beard and all. He didn't give a damn. He gave him a kiss on the cheek, and Jerry was so nice about it. And my dad was just he was a kid at the candy store, man, to be on the field, because he's never done that, right? I mean, he never even did that at Candlestick or anything like that. That was his first experience for that to happen. And so what ended up happening was he gave him the kiss on the cheek, and then I asked Jerry, "Hey, is it cool if you take a picture with my pops?" And then he was like, "Yeah, of course." So then he took the picture, and my dad has it, and I'll have to show you the picture tomorrow. But yeah, that's my Jerry Rice story. Just
Wow.
for the listeners, yeah.
I actually did not know that. Mad respect to Jerry Rice for the whole interaction and just handling it well. And I like how most of all your dad is just like, well, I'm not getting fired, so
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, it was an incredible experience. I remember it was I believe it was not this past season, but the year before, the Super Bowl year, when the Ravens came to town and just gave a stomping, but it didn't even matter because like the interaction and the fanfare, I guess, before with my pops, that was pretty cool to do that on Christmas Day. But yeah, man. So Barry Bonds, he's gonna be the coach for the celebrity game, and obviously here we talk baseball, and this is a baseball podcast. So I saw Tacky just left for his dinner. So when he comes back, we're going to be talking baseball. So he hung out just long enough to miss the part that he was waiting for. So shout out to Tacky. But we're going to be talking some baseball, man. So really quickly, before we get into 2025 Giants, we're going to talk about number 25. We're going to talk about Barry Lamar Bonds, probably the best baseball player, baseball hitter, the best pure power hitter that ever stepped foot on the baseball diamond in the batter's box. And I know a lot of people like make comps to with Barry, like as far as today's game. Like a lot of people, I remember when Mike Trout was winning his MVPs at a high rate, they were like, "Oh, dude, he's gonna break Barry Bonds' record of 7 MVPs," and I just don't think that that's gonna happen. But there's also there's a lot of records that Barry Bonds holds that I don't think that are going to be broken. Like obviously the home run king, 762, right? I don't think that that's going to be touched anytime soon. I mean, we were kind of looking at some guys that are I guess trending in that direction, but nobody's really close. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see if that becomes a thing at some point down the line. But 762, regardless of how you think he got there, that's pretty impressive. But then you look at all the other numbers. I mean, I mentioned to you today when we were talking about Barry, the 500 home run, 500 stolen bases club. He's the founder and the lone member of said club. Now, is there going to be, does Ohtani get in there at some point? Maybe, but we'll have to see. It's pretty cool, just pretty remarkable what Barry Bonds was able to do. But do you remember watching Barry Bonds at all as a kid, or what are your memories of Barry Lamar Bonds, number 25?
Yeah, I mean, I always followed the Bay Area teams. I would say that my immediate family was more A's centric, whereas my extended family was more Giants centric, and therefore I was always rooting for both. And luckily, the A's were such postseason chokers that I never had to worry about it when the Giants got really good that they would ever meet up. And so always watching Barry Bonds was fun. And I mean, I think when you're kind of at the age that I was, you can appreciate greatness. He was the best player. He was chasing the all-time home run record. Like, you're not oblivious to it, but I wouldn't say it maybe is being looked at in the same way that I would a legendary athlete today, or maximizing what's left of Steph Curry, for example.
Right.
Taking advantage of this Super Bowl window for the 49ers and all that. So, he made the game of baseball exciting, though. And the 756, I think, that's kind of an easy go-to, but that's always going to be memory number one because so I'm a type 1 diabetic, as you know,
Mhm.
and for a good handful of years we'd go to this family camp where it'd be like at least one children in the family would have type 1, and as you know, kind of like culty and cheesy as it sounds, we had a really good time doing it. And Barry Bonds was around 7:54 when we got there, and there
Yeah.
was no cell service out there. And this was, not in the day and age like today where there probably is now, where people would get away and go and find a way to get some cell service. Like you kind of just got to check out for a week, and it was really nice. And I remember I was just wondering if Barry Bonds was going to tie or break Hank Aaron's record
Yep.
while we were there. And I don't think it happened. He may have been at 7:53 and gotten to 7:54, or been at 7:54 and stayed. But I kept asking if anyone had seen any news on it because I really didn't want to miss it. And
Right.
came back. I don't think I actually saw 7:55 live, but then once that happened, I was very locked in. And then 7:56, I mean, just everything from it being at home to Kipe's call, Bond stands alone, the big graphic up on the scoreboard of what was then AT&T Park. Kind of those sort of moments really, even at the age I was, make you appreciate who a player like that is and what they mean to the sport in general, even if I'm not watching all 162 games and everything. So we kind of talked about it today on the show, but Bay Area, for as kind of mediocre and uninspiring as things might seem at times right now, we've been spoiled with some of the best to ever do it in multiple sports.
Yeah, I mean, when you start looking at all of the greatness that we have in the Bay Area just as a whole, I mean, dude, it's incredible. Like you have the greatest football player like to have ever stepped foot that isn't a quarterback with Jerry Rice. I mean, you have
And
the
by the
home
way,
run.
a top like 3 quarterback to go with that too.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, Joe Montana. Shout out Joe. But then you look at Barry Bonds, the home run king, right? I mean, regardless of who recognizes that or not, but he's the home run king, right? I mean, you look at 762. That's the number. That belongs to Barry Bonds. And then you look to the 3-point champion. You know what I mean? Like the shot made the most 3-pointers in NBA history with Steph Curry. Like it's just incredible the star power in all 3 sports that we have in the Bay Area. But Barry Bonds was a special one, man. I mean, I think that what people are going through right now with Steph Curry is what people were going through then with Barry Bonds. Like you're witnessing history with Steph, and obviously Steph has the championships. Barry didn't. Barry only had the one opportunity, right? He only had the one chance in 2002, and that still is heartbreaking to this day for me. But I mean, his OPS of like damn near 2000 is incredible in a World Series. He's one of the greatest that have ever done it, and it's a damn shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. I think maybe at one point he will get in there with the Modern Era Committee, but we'll have to see what ends up happening there. But Barry, I mean, you talk about 756. I don't know if you can see it here in the green room, but I have a couple of big moments from Barry Bonds, some memorable moments for Barry Bonds that you might never see again. So I kind of want to get into it a little bit here because we know all the statistics, all the numbers with Barry Bonds, but some of these moments are kind of staples of Barry Bonds. So the first one that I'm going to show you is from 1998. It was at Candlestick, and it was against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And people, let me know if everybody else, if anybody in the YouTube chat, if anybody was there in attendance. I wasn't there, but I know that a lot of Giants fans remember this moment as being one of the most bizarre moments in baseball history, even to this day, where Buck Showalter, bases loaded, 2 outs in the 9th inning, up 2 runs, I believe. And he said, nah, bro, you're not going to swing the bat. And he intentionally walks Barry Bonds, walks in a run, bases loaded, because of the fear of Barry Bonds. He literally said, I'm not going to let you beat me. So let's go ahead and just look at Barry's face when this is happening.
This is flat out saying, I will not let you beat me.
Look how pissed he looks. He looks so pissed.
He does.
He looks so pissed. He's just like, really, bro? Oh, that's incredible.
9 intentional walks, but this is the ultimate intentional.
Look at that. Walked him in.
Barry Bonds walks to drive in a run, making it 8.
Looking at the picture, he's like, bro, like, what are you doing?
I think I saw this stat, and I might get this wrong.
No, go ahead.
But it was something like Barry Bonds he was walked like 120 times intentionally in a season at one point, and I think there's 3 active players who have been intentionally walked that many times in their career. I'm like, what like, you broke the game.
Well, so for the longest time, there was a stat of, I want to say it was 38 intentional walks. 38 intentional walks at one point. And he had more intentional walks in a season, or not in a season, but through like a stretch of games than the entire Tampa Bay Rays organization had through their history. Like that is crazy. That is insane. Just the numbers that Barry Bonds, just the most mind-boggling stats for Barry. You would think that it's fake, but he was that dangerous of a hitter, man. He was that dangerous of a hitter to where you're literally saying that this would be the equivalent of you're playing like, basketball and you have 3 guys on Steph and you're making like somebody else shoot the shot. Like that's the equivalent of that. Like, you're not going to let him swing the bat. You're not going to give him the opportunity of showing you up. Like, that's how dangerous Barry Bonds was.
Yeah, or like, not to bring up a rival example, but Aaron Donald getting quadruple teamed by the Miami Dolphins in that one screenshot. You're like, this is stupid. This is so stupid.
Yeah, let's see what Otis checking in on the YouTube chat. Chicken move by the Diamondbacks, but it sadly worked. Yes, the Diamondbacks did end up winning that game. But could you imagine, like would Buck Showalter have been fired if that didn't work? Like, I don't know. But Buck Showalter is a great manager. He just finished his managerial career, I believe, last year, not last year, but 2 seasons ago. He was the manager of the Mets. So yeah, he's been around for a long time, Buck Showalter. But yeah, it was very, very incredible to see that. Pat H chiming in. Yeah, I forget sometimes about them having to throw 4 pitches for an intentional walk. Those were the days. Yeah, when you start remembering that you had to throw 4 pitches out there instead of just saying, "Oh, we're gonna walk them," and then you like don't realize, "Oh, what the hell just happened?"
That's why Bonds had that look on his face.
Yeah, dude, no, it was incredible. Huey's in here. What's up, Huey? Wonder if Huey's gonna call tonight. No, my phone unfortunately is about to die. I did not charge it today, but so the cruise line is not open for business. But let's keep going down the memory lane of Barry Bonds. This was another one. Again, Barry Bonds brought something that you probably will never see again. And I don't know if this has happened again, but if it did, I don't remember it. I specifically remember this. I don't know if it was because of who's on the mound, and I don't know if you'll notice who's on the mound, but he's a World Series caliber pitcher. He won in the actually, you know what? I think he won twice. I think he won with the Marlins, and I think he won with the Red Sox. This was Josh Beckett on the mound. This was in 2002, I believe, with Barry Bonds at Marlins Park. This was back when they played at the same stadium as the Miami Dolphins. This was back in those days, and Barry Bonds does something that only he could do, and I'll just let you watch it.
Busted his bat, Encarnacion is back. Make it 6-0-1. Can you believe it?
Can you believe that?
shattered the lumber and hit a home run.
Yeah,
So I don't know if you saw that. I don't know if you saw that.
once.
But dude, look at this. Hold on. I'm gonna pause it. The bat is broken. The bat is literally flying to first base. And he hit a home run. That was 601, dude. That's incredible.
So if the bat doesn't break, is that leaving the entire stadium?
I mean, quite possibly. I mean, he almost did it in when was it? I think he almost did that in Yankee Stadium. He almost he hit a nuke in old Yankee Stadium. I felt like it was about to leave the ballpark. Yeah,
that's some sicko behavior right there to do that.
Dude, it's incredible. I mean, we all know what was going on. You know, we're not gonna turn a blind eye. But that's pretty incredible. Just the fact that he can hit the homer, have the bat break, and it still goes over the wall. And I know it just barely grazed it, but still, he got both cheeks into that one, and a little bit of wood. Both cheeks and a little bit of wood. All right, so we're gonna go back to or we're gonna fast forward to 2 years after that. This was 2004. 2004 for Barry Bonds, and we were talking about his MVPs earlier, right? We were talking about his MVPs, how he just went on that monstrous, he got 7 and just continued to pound them out in the early 2000s. This was his en route to his 7th MVP, and this was freshly coming off of Eric Gagne's Cy Young Award in 2003. So this was the big showdown, big matchup. I remember this because I was at this game with my uncle. It was Eric Gagne pumping heat against Barry Bonds. And this one is a little bit lengthy, but this was a showdown for the ages for Barry Bonds, and quite arguably like one of the best theater moments in all of baseball. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it.
Nothing in 2.
Boy, 98 on the corner inside, and the gun here at the stadium said 99. Well, whatever it was fast.
Pumping
and the
gas,
location
bro.
was perfect.
Try to get him with the curveball. Barry's pissed. He's like, "Come on, bro." He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Don't do that." He got pissed. Look at him. He's all pissed off. And I was sitting third base line in the upper deck.
2-2. Again, trying to go after his corner inside.
Well, the stadium gun here has 2 zeros.
Well, that could mean only one thing, partner. 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Not a play.
Like, this is must watch like drama, dude. Like, you don't get this in today's baseball. You know what I mean?
No, not at all.
It's really
with these Giants.
MVP.
Well, it's really interesting because Pat H. Before we get the next pitch, Pat H. comps it to Ohtani Trout. That was must watch baseball. That was electric.
Kanye shook off the changeup. He wants to go fastball in.
Dude.
That's going to end up in the water. But,
we lost our minds. We were like, no, it went foul. Look how far that thing went.
Is that a quick bat?
It's like 400 feet.
Can that count as a half on the splash hit counter?
Yeah, right? Dude. Low and inside and just turned on it. Is that Dave?
it stays 2-2.
Dave was hoarding that one too.
Center field.
Dude, look at that.
This baby's gonna go.
Incredible. Just pandemonium.
At 100 miles per hour.
Wow. You know what's crazy is usually if you hit a foul like that, you're not hitting it to the fence again.
No, dude.
No, it's not happening.
No, not at all. And what's incredible about that, because they both knew like what was up, right? I mean, you had a guy on base. It was Barry Bonds. It was Eric Gagne. Dodgers, Giants. I mean, it was one of the like all-time moments of that ballpark prior to the championships, right? So it didn't even matter that the Giants lost that game. what mattered was that our guy got their guy. That's all that mattered, dude. So it was really incredible just to see that. And yeah, Otis is chiming in, saying it's unbelievable, but yeah, Eric Gagne, hold on, going back to Huey, Eric Gagne with the stupid glasses. Yeah, everybody wanted to punch his face. But going back to Otis is, dang, I still miss watching Bonds, man. Like that is something that has eluded this franchise. I mean, yeah, they got the championships, they got it done with the pitching, but must-watch TV, like I would say with the championship run, like Tim Lincecum being on the mound and Madison Bumgarner being on the mound, but more so Tim Lincecum, like he had that electricity about him. But like I honestly, like I love Buster Posey, but I wasn't stopping to watch his at bats. You know what I mean? Like he was great, he was a good player. Is he in the Hall of Very Great, or is he in the Hall of Fame? Like that's another debate that we can get into at another point. But looking at, Barry Bonds and the must-watch TV, and honestly, I don't know if there's really that many people in baseball today that gives you that sense of, damn, I need to stop what I'm doing and watch this guy, other than Shohei Ohtani when he's on the mound or when he's in the batter's box. Or I would say Aaron Judge when he was chasing the AL single season record Roger Maris for 62. I would say that was very similar because I was dialing in to every Aaron Judge at bat when he was doing that. But I mean, that it's just not a thing in baseball anymore.
Willie Adames, baby, get ready. I'm on board. I'm on board.
Dude. Yeah, dude, you all on board with Willie Adames?
No, like on a serious note, absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
for sure.
They went and got the best player available at a position that they desperately needed, and a position, might I add, that is pretty damn important in the sport of baseball. Jeez, too much talking for me today, and I start breaking. That's what happens.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
But yeah, no, of course I'm on board with Willie Adames. I mean, it's a really brutal division. We all know this, and I just want. Here's the thing about Barry Bonds. This is where I'll pivot it back to Bonds. Is Otis Bird says, "Damn, I still miss watching Bonds." At my young age, that was a guy that made the game so exciting. And yeah, maybe I was a little bit spoiled to get somebody like that to go and watch. But the Giants today, I just want an excitement factor that hasn't really been there in a bit. And I'm glad Buster Posey is getting to do this and be in a new role. And it seems like he's taken a really calculated approach to this, but it can't just be Matt Chapman or Willie Adames. And I'm not saying it's got to be another Barry Bonds. Like let's be realistic here. But that's why I'm kind of excited about these young guys, because who's going to be the pleasant surprises that can maybe make this a team that does overachieve beyond the projected 78 wins?
Well, and what's interesting is that, what you just said there with the next Barry Bonds, right? Because I feel like that's what the organization has been trying to do and trying to establish in the past, how many freaking years since 2007? Like that's what they've been trying to do and trying to replicate what he can be. And what plays well in this ballpark? A left-handed hitter. And they've been chasing after that left-handed hitter. But fact of the matter is, there was only one lefty that could do that. And it was Barry Bonds. You got to stop looking for that guy, because, all these guys are all these scouts and everyone. And we're all looking like, now we're getting into Giants talk. Now you're going to get me fired up. Bryce Eldridge, right? I mean, he's a lefty, and a lot of scouts and a lot of people who are in the know, I mean, they're high on Bryce Eldridge. They have his power at like a 70. That's really high when it comes to prospect rankings, right? So, a lot of people are saying that he's projected to be a 40 home run hitter, right? And he's 19 years old. He hasn't even played more than 20 games above AA ball. You know what I mean? I think he has eight or 9 games in 9 games in AA and 8 games in AAA, right? So he's really young in his maturation process, still in his development. But they keep trying to find that lefty bat, man, and it's like, I get it because of the Cove and but you have to get it. You have to get the launch angle just right and hit it with enough velocity to plow through that Bay Area wind, that Bay Area breeze that is coming over the arcade. So it's like, man, like they could maybe start going in a different direction, because it didn't work out for Fred Lewis after Barry Bonds. He was a lefty, and they wanted him to be the heir apparent to Barry Bonds. Didn't work out for him. I mean, Brandon Belt was a serviceable lefty, but he projected to be a power hitter, and he ended up not necessarily being that. He was more of a contact. I mean, he had power, but he was more of a contact guy, and his approach, like, he was more worried about getting on base than trying to get both cheeks into one. So I don't know, man. Like I feel like this organization keeps trying to find that lefty bat, which I think that they need to get away from that a little bit. Like, I like Bryce Eldridge. I do think that he can potentially be a good piece in the future. We were talking about trading him last night, so that's what we do here on the podcast. We just start talking about random shit.
I don't know if you've listened to our show at all this week, but that's been the entire show for 12 straight hours of airtime. And then tomorrow it's going to be, hey, there's a trade that happened and they still might make another one.
Well, see, that's the thing. I think that's why I got on the trade bandwagon, was because we were talking trades like the past week on KMBR, and and I was just like, oh, we're just gonna trade everybody. Let's just see what we can get for everybody. Then we started talking about KD, and I'm like, oh, dude, you gotta trade, so you gotta give up something to get something. You know what I mean? So that was my big takeaway from last night. But one more thing from Barry Bonds, and really quickly before we get that video up, it's the one that you mentioned, 756. We're gonna bring that up here just because that was one of the greatest moments prior to all of the championships, and it might quite honestly be still one of the greatest moments in San Francisco Giants history. Like, in San Francisco, something that got done in San Francisco, it might be right up there with Matt Cain's perfect game. Depending, let me know in the YouTube chat what you guys all think about that. But Pat H chiming in with the Eric Gagne conversation just made me think of Tacky, because he said that I know he was a Dodger, Gagne was Canadian, so it's hard for me to hate him too much. That would not be the case for Tacky, because Tacky does not like Canadians. I know Tacky is going to be chiming in here in a little bit when he's done with his dinner, but let's go ahead and go on out to 756. Let's just relive that moment because it was such a cool ass moment. Let's go ahead and bring it up.
And Bonds hits one high, hits it deep. It is out of here. 756. Bonds stands alone. He is on top of the all-time home run list. What a special moment for Barry Bonds. And what a special moment for these fans here in San Francisco. There it is.
Really cool, dude. That was one of the coolest moments in Bay Area history, man. Like, I swear, I still love that one. I still love that one for sure.
You know, I think what really states the gravity of that whole thing is you've been in this radio business for a good chunk of years now. I got hired a couple of years ago. We're now doing the show every single day, 10 to 2, and it just doesn't stop, right? Like, I mean, we always got to have a board op in the studio. It's nonstop. And so in this world of sports and media and talking and having a good time and living through the good, the bad, the ugly, it almost never stops. And the Barry Bonds 756 or Steph Curry's 2,974 three-pointer, those were kind of stop the world moments where it's like, okay, hold on, let's just take a second, and it's going to stop the game in the bottom of a fifth inning in what is a 5-4 contest at the time, and to just kind of stop and appreciate it. And any moment or play that essentially stops the world is always going to be something that will stick with you forever. I mean, we can bring this up in positive moments, and we can bring this up in terrible moments too. Like, everybody who remotely follows sports knows exactly where they were when Kobe Bryant's helicopter crashed and those 8 others passed away. I mean, so just to kind of relive it, it's like, makes you just kind of go, whoa. okay, that stopped everything for just a moment in time.
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and just to relive it, and I love to relive it every August 7th. One of the great moments in San Francisco Giants history, and as I mentioned, just on that field at that ballpark, there wasn't really a lot that there has been achieved at that ballpark. I mean, you have the Travis Ishikawa walk off in 2014, right? You have that one, which was a pretty sick moment. You have the Tim Lincecum no hitter. You have a Jonathan Sanchez no hitter, which was I believe 2 years after that in 2009. And then you had the Matt Cain perfect game, right? So those are kind of the big, because all of the clinchers for the World Series and most of the clinchers, other than the NLCS in 2014 against the Cardinals, pretty much everything else was on the road for the Giants. So that was kind of still like, even after the World Series, even after everything else, even after 107, like those moments, like that Barry Bonds moment, 756, is still, I think, it might be one of the top moments in that history of the ballpark. If you ask Giants fans, like I guess it just depends on what era of Giants fan you are. But of that ballpark from 2000 to now, I mean, I think that I don't know if I'm missing one, but anybody let me know in the YouTube chat. But I believe that's it. You got Barry Bonds 756. You have Jonathan Sanchez no hitter in 09. You have Tim Lincecum's no hitter. You have Matt Cain's perfect game, and then you have the walk off with Travis Ishikawa in the NLCS, and that one might be the only one. Actually, no, I don't know even where I would rank that. I really don't, because Travis Ishikawa, the walk, that was pretty sick. But that series was over. It wasn't like it was going to go like 7 games or anything. That series was done. That series was cooked. And then the perfect game. I mean, how often are you going to see a perfect game? So I might say it's more so the perfect game versus Barry Bonds 756 in my opinion. But I don't know. Some people might hold that Travis Ishikawa home run, and it was the last one of the trilogy, right? So it's not like it was the first time getting to the World Series or anything like that. So it might have a little bit less luster, but that was really the first one of that dynastic run with the Giants, the first one that was clinched at home.
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing, is that we can kind of sit here and debate it, and there's no real wrong answer of what's going to stick with you the most. So, yeah, I mean, I know Barry Bonds didn't end up winning championships, but he laid the groundwork for getting a lot of Giants fans excited and bringing great baseball to the Bay Area. And I mean, I think that's it's the impact is always going to be forever noted here for us. And yeah, we, like you said earlier, there might have been some reasons why the broken bat homer happened and everything, but that doesn't just entirely erase the greatness of one athlete.
I got to go ahead and find this before I let you go, and before we get on out of here. I got to find Otis's comment, because I started laughing when he put it out there. Yeah, just in reference to the broken bat and Barry Bonds, allegedly, LOL. That's Otis Bird chiming in there. But all right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you get on out of here. We'll do this again. We'll give you a little. Actually, let me give you a pop quiz on the way out, because I told you that I was gonna give you some pop quizzes at some point. Let me give you a pop quiz on the way out. We were talking 756, and we were talking about it a couple of weeks ago, and we just watched it right now. Who was on the mound against Barry Bonds in that moment? 756.
A guest who was on the KNBR morning show this week, Mike Bassick. So we actually were getting into this over a little exchange recently, and then he's on, and we're like, dude, we were just talking about this guy.
Dude, I lost my shit when that happened, because I thought I was dreaming for a second, because in my head I was like, why is Mike Bassick on? Like, it's not an anniversary day. Like, it's not August 7th. Like, what are we doing? Like, Forever National Mike Bassick, because it was against the Nationals in their early years of their switching over from the Expos. But Mike Bassick, bro, he came up in our lives like randomly. I thought that was hilarious.
It was a beautiful coincidence. You got any others for me? I'm getting the alert now that, and I read this literally, that my
What?
dinner HOTTOGO.
HOTTOT. Well, dude, I'm gonna let you. You're hot to go. You can get on out of here. But nah, man, we are good to go. My phone has died, so I think that I'm probably getting that same notification as well because it is 7:21 and we're an hour and 20 minutes into this podcast. So that's a good time for me to wrap up. It's a good time for me to let you go, but we'll continue to do this, man, as we get into spring training, as we get closer to baseball season. Definitely love to have you on here and talk more baseball. Obviously, the circumstances took the first like 25-30 minutes of the show with Jimmy Butler coming to the Bay Area, but we'll definitely talk about that tomorrow, and I look forward to it, man. We'll continue to grind along, and you're welcome on the podcast anytime. We'll definitely do that after we get some spring training games and as we get closer to the start of opening day for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, this is a news heavy week, so there's a reason we talked a little hoops on this too, but I'm legitimately pumped about getting to talk a little bit more baseball together in a setting like this that's casual. And like, just to end on a serious note, I'm really glad that with all that you've done for our show, you're still making the time to do Passion for the Pastime. And I like to tune in whenever I can, when I'm going to the gym and or just being lazy in between shows. And you're killing it. It's really fun to see a lot of my KNBR favorites too make some time and hang out in the chat, because that's what this is all about.
Yeah, dude, it's a fun time. It's a fun community, and that's why I do it, man. Just to connect with them, have these conversations with you, have conversations with the chat. That's what it's all about, man. But I'm gonna let you get on out of here, and I'll go back into the YouTube chat and chat with these guys for a couple more minutes. But Greg Silver of Papa and Silver of KNBR of Dubs OT, you gonna hop on Dubs OT at some point?
At some point, but not tonight. I gotta get my beauty sleep.
Yeah, dude, you got to get your beauty sleep. You desperately need it, Greg. But dude, you have a good one. I love that we're able to do this, and I appreciate you for all your support and those kind words, man. We'll talk more, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you at work.
Yeah, I was gonna say see you in like, I don't know, 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll see you in about I'll see you. Yeah, I'll see you in about 13 hours from now. I'll see you.
Talk soon, man.
All right, bro. I'll see you. That was Greg Silver. A lot of fun there. And I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation as well. We'll continue to do that. We'll continue to have Greg Silver on. We'll continue to have regulars on. We'll get Danny on. We're going to start Danny Dunn Days on a Monday. We're going to start that next week. We'll start doing some conversations, but we'll definitely get on out to you guys as well. Hope you guys had fun with that. I know we were talking some basketball. That was great news, or big news. I don't know if it was great news. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm glad to see that AJ Cruz is still okay, because it seemed like he was going to jump off a bridge at one point or or another. But yeah, Jimmy Butler coming to the Bay Area, that took precedent. At the beginning of the show, let Tacky know that we did start talking some baseball before we did get on out of here. But I'm gonna get on out of here, guys. It was a fun show tonight. I'm going to take the next 2 nights off, but we'll be back again on Monday. I'm going to be doing some travels and got some stuff to do in the meantime. So AJ Cruz, I'm drinking now. Is it a celebratory drink? Is it a celebratory drink, or are you drowning your sorrows, AJ? Need to know that before we get on out of here. But yeah, we're going to have a fun day. On Monday, we're going to have Danny Dunn here on the podcast. Going to talk some Giants baseball. We'll continue to do that. And pitchers and catchers. Oh my God, buried the lead an hour and 20 minutes in. Pitchers and catchers report a week from today. And Otis, yes, what a way to end a sports day locally. Dude, it was incredible. It was incredible stuff to go Jimmy Butler and just have this fun conversation. But yeah, we're going to have Danny Dunn on Monday. Pitchers and catchers report a week from today. And we're going to be getting some reports from camp. It's going to be a lot of fun in the next couple of weeks as we get closer and closer to the start of spring training. Remember, you guys, if you're new here to the podcast, remember to subscribe, remember to like, drop a comment, and set your notifications for Passion for the Pastime. We go live every Monday through Friday, but there are some adjustments, but at 6 p.m. That's when we're here. That's when we're live. But again, you guys have to go ahead and send an email to passionforthepastime@gmail.com to be submitted for the two ticket giveaway for the San Francisco Giants for a game in the future in the regular season, go ahead and shoot me an email at passionforthepastime@gmail.com. Again, passionforthepastime@gmail.com. All you got to do is send me your name, last initial, and a screenshot that you are subscribed to the channel, and we'll get you submitted for the contest. The giveaway will happen on February 20th. That's when we'll be doing it at the end of the show. You do not want to miss out on that opportunity. So you guys remember to do that on your way out. As you get to bed, remember to send me that email, and I will send you a verification email to make sure that I got it and we're all good to go. So you guys have a good one. I hope you enjoyed it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy the Super Bowl, I guess. I'm going to go Eagles. I'm not confident in that pick at all, but I'm hoping that the Eagles win, and we'll be talking about that on Monday as well. We'll be either talking about how the Eagles stopped the dynasty, or we'll be talking about if the Chiefs are the greatest dynasty in football. We'll have that conversation on Monday with Danny Dunn. It's a Danny Dunn day on a Monday. That's when we'll be back here at 6 p.m. So you guys have a good one. Be safe, and I'll talk to you then.